Well, these were African, Arab, Asian values. The only section of Europe that had a high value system during the Dark Ages were those on the Iberian Peninsula in the Spanish, Portuguese area, southern France. And that high state of culture existed there because Africans, known as Moors, had come there and brought it there. So,
Woogie, play that shit.
Jello Beats, holla at 'em.
NBPP, ain't BPP. I'm telling y'all, no win with a lawyer, so don't ask me. I know y'all are Moors, just ask General Khalid. The General.
Islam, I'm a Moor, and got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. And ain't gonna never argue with you that I'm not a Moor.
The General said he's a Moor. NBPP won't take heed. Your greed for his name, fame got you skunk drunk. You never pull the trigger, just pose with the shotguns pumped. Waiting and hating, showing no love, but you're showing bacon. Licenses for ID at the police station. On top of that, no rights reserved on the contract. Dirty Moors finesse masters use old leaders to con cats. Show their picture but won't use their best quotes. Only use the ones to bring in fiat notes from scapegoats. Kwame Toure's wife even wore a fez at their wedding. A snicker at SNCC and all black organizations begging. Walking with limbs peg-legging. These conscious pirates, fake freedom warners, get no ratings when I'm irate. Conscious. 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 Sarnetta sat down with Taj Bey one-on-one. Suit and Yeti is my target, Aleem Bey is my gun. All I do is crush a lot truth. My big pun and Fat Joe falling on you 50 feet below. Mike Fatso, Mark conscious coons frauds up with my firing squad. Tugging at emotions hard like sleeping pulling a quad. Larry's no professor, show me some doctorate degrees, son. We'll listen to I'm African crap until I see one. I'm not asking for much, cause I give more than I ask for. Moorish MC, lay it down hot like asphalt. I won't cool though, some call me Fool Joe. Trying to get under my skin, you must be a Negro. Old foe gets skull slow, lashed with the tongue strap. Conscious coons wanna be Gay-Z and make a comeback. Not on my watch, flow till time stops. Left and shot cause the rhyme doc. Open up your mind blocks. Conscious. 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 Conscious.
Other one,
Galatians.
malicious.
Oh, Galatians.
Galatians. We have them there. Now, these are church documents. But remember, when there came a time in 1506, after we lost power in Spain, the Africans ruled Spain from 711. We were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S. From 711 until 1485, 774 years, when we built and brought into Europe the university system, building the University of Salamanca, S-A-L-A-M-A-N-C-A in Spain, a copy of the University of...
We spoke about science earlier. You know, why do we deal with science and things of that nature? You're gonna have, all Moorish Americans should have a couple of different dictionaries at home, at their study place, wherever you do your studying at. You need this in order to grow. To do what we're doing right now, we're studying. Although we're having a meeting, we're still studying. That's how our meetings are designed. We're studying together.
Oh, you know I had to get you. You know what I mean? I seen you. Yeah, young fella, I'm talking to you and everybody that's following. You know what I mean? Trying to bang on the Moors and trying to bang on Islam, trying to bang on the Muslims. You know what I mean? And normally, I say, man, I ain't got time for that shit. But today, you see, I got my jewels on today. So today, I got, oh, check, hold on, wait, check. Oh, yeah. Oh, we finna. That shit look real stupid, don't it? And that's exactly how we look, trying to bang on it. What you with the Hotep gang? Is that what it is? In the words of NORE, man, you gotta relax. What are you doing? Are you teaching or gangbanging? Huh? Come on, man. Let's cool it out with all the extra trinkets and stuff, bro. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? You want to try to attract people. You think that's what's going to get people attention. But if you real, if you keeping it 100, if you really about teaching the people, bro, you don't need the extras. You don't need all this extra stuff, bro. All you got to do is just come from the heart and speak the truth. And the people will feel it. We're going to get to the clip, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to give you some game, some information for you to think about, reflect on. And it's not even really for you right now. It's really for the young Pharaoh 5-10 years from now. See, because the young Pharaoh right now watching this at this moment, in 2018, way too arrogant and way too ignorant.
And here's a teaching to blow everything away you've ever learned about Egypt. The word Pharaoh. Pharaoh. Every day you can go on, see Zahiwas or somebody on National Geographic talking about the pharaohs, the land of the pharaohs, the pharaoh Ramses, the pharaohs Thutmose. Everybody using the word wrong, including myself for many years, using the word wrong. Per-ah is where the word pharaoh comes from. In Hebrew, it's per-o. Per-ah is where the word pharaoh comes from. In Hebrew, it's per-o. Per-ah is where the word pharaoh comes from. In Hebrew, it's per-o. Per-ah is where the word pharaoh comes from. In Hebrew, it's per-o. Per-ah is where the word pharaoh comes from. In Hebrew, it's per-o. Of course, the Greeks and the Jews later, patriarchal society, looked at the society of ancient Egypt and they saw kings and sons. So they said, oh, Per-ah must be the king's house. Well, it's not. The high house is the woman's house. You're talking about a civilization that was a matriarchy, where descent was matrilineal. Descent went from mother to daughter. So I say to you unequivocally, there never was a male pharaoh. Ever. Ever.
Ego on 1,000. Ain't gonna listen. And that's okay. A little down the line, all of that talking that you've been doing, gonna come back around and kick you in the ass, and you're gonna realize you didn't really know everything that you thought you knew. But let me stop talking. Let's get to the clip, then we're gonna come back.
Moors, you can stop writing me and coming for me, talking about why am I misleading people, telling people that we're black when I'm cursing my people, when every culture before white people considered the word black as something holy. Only you motherfuckers and white people consider it as something negative. So who's misleading who? Who's really pseudo? Who's really full of shit? Who's really not doing research? All of these organizations I just showed you step by step were founded by motherfuckers involved in occultism. Just like these rappers are involved in occultism. Matter of fact, I'm finna show you 2 rappers right now involved in occultism. You see P. Diddy and you see Young Thug. This nigga P. Diddy got a Moorish fez on, but we know damn well he not no more. We know for a fact P. Diddy is a part of the Illuminati. How the fuck you got a fez on with a Christian cross? So this shows that they're trying to create confusion. Now you see rapper Young Thug to the right. We all know he's gay. He got an unk on. Why? Because in this day and time, Europeans know that youth such as my age are not subscribing to shit that they put here in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, such as the Moorish Science Temple.
Now that brings us to the word ethics. Ethics is the science which treats of the nature and laws of the actions of intelligent beings. These actions being considered in relation to their moral qualities. The science which treats of the natural and grounds of moral obligation, the science of the human duty. The whole of moral science, natural jurisprudence, including moral philosophy, international law, public or political law, civil law and history, profane, civil, and political. There you have it.
Being a Muslim, being a Christian, being a Hebrew, Amun-Ra evolution theory. We're not subscribing to that shit. So they know we going back to what we can identify with as Kemet. So now they want to mislead us, and you see all these rappers, now they wearing unks. So understand the white man is always putting false information out here in order to mislead the youth, not the motherfucking elders. And once the youth is successfully misled, they become elders who now wish to mislead the youth, predicated upon what they think they know. And this is what y'all see me going through right now.
Okay, but first, to meet them on the plane that they're at, you know, you have to let our people know who may be Christian, who may be other spiritual disciplines or whatever. When we teach that our people are Moors, we're strictly dealing with their pedigree and bloodline. That's what we're dealing with. We're not dealing with any religious concepts. We're just talking about your blood. We're talking about your DNA, your genetics, when we say that you're a Moor. Okay? And then we're talking about in that aspect with securing your birthright. You follow what I'm saying? Because when we deal with historical documents, and particularly the theft of this land in the Americas that was taken right up from under our forefathers, our great-grandmother and them, all right, all of the documents that were completed, all of the documents that change hands or are in the possessions of certain hands, has all people listed and recorded as Moors. That's strictly by pedigree and bloodline. Has nothing to do with any religion. In fact, when you read historical manuscripts, whenever they refer to as Muslim, whenever they refer to Muslims, they're not even dealing with the faith of Muhammad, peace be upon him. They're not dealing with him. They're strictly dealing with Africanoid people. Whenever they talk about Muslims, they're talking about quote-unquote so-called black people. And whenever you read in history where you see the word Christian, they're not dealing with any type of religious concept or philosophy. They're not dealing with anything about believing in a Holy Trinity. When you see in history where it says Christians, they're strictly speaking about Caucasian Europeans in a historical concept. So when we are sharing this information with our people who may be Christians, if you want to be a Christian, we will advise you that there's no salvation, earthly salvation in that for you, because it does not derive from your forefathers. But if that's what you choose to be, you have every right to be that. But you should know, even in that era, you should know that you are a Moor. And certain other Moors may refer to as a Morisco. Somebody who doesn't know their nationality or their spiritual, they don't know their spiritual inheritance or their national creed. They may refer to somebody who just does not know, but you are a Moor, regardless if you are a Jew, because we know in Al-Andalus, all across Al-Andalus, in Cordoba and Toledo and Seville and Saragossa and Granada, we had Moorish Jews.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have Moorish Jews, Moorish Christians. So yeah, to be a Moor is strictly to be the brown skin, not necessarily you don't have to be the darkest. You can be high yellow. You can be quote unquote red bone. You're still a Moor. You can have real coarse hair. Your hair can be so nappy, look like pepper in your head. You know what I'm saying? Or it can be wavy, or it can be very straight. And you still, or if you're a melanated person, you're still a Moor.
Motherfuckers can't answer my questions.
Okay. Now let's get down to business for real. Peace and love, first of all. My name is Rami Salam El. I thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Much love to you. You know what I mean? If you got offended or if you're kind of sensitive, I apologize. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? I'm doing this out of love. I got to get a little joke in here and there, but it's all love. Don't get upset. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Really, I'm here to teach and uplift the people, just as Noble Drew Ali did. And really and truly, it was young Pharaoh talking about Moors and Noble Drew Ali the way he did that initially it upset me. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating. And it's easy to respond, with that same kind of energy. You know what I mean? And get into that nigga bag and get to cursing and motherfucking it, blah, 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 blah. But that don't help nobody. You know what I mean? You just end up looking like a fool. You don't help the people. You know what I mean? And if you really represent the people, man, you can do better than that. So I hope that by the end of this video, you have learned some things. You know what I mean? The information will have expanded your perspective a little bit. You feel me? And if not Young Pharaoh, maybe one of the people that follows Young Pharaoh. You know what I mean? Maybe you watching right now. Maybe it'll help you think about Moors in a different way. Maybe research and see what Noble Drew Ali said himself and not believe what other people tell you. And enough of that. Let's get right to it. We're gonna start with this. The teachings of Ptah Hotep. I want to start with this. This is just one little tidbit I want to get to young Pharaoh and anybody this teaching out here. You know what I mean? Or claiming to know some things. I feel this is something very important that you should know. Do not be proud and arrogant with your knowledge. Did you hear that? This from Ptah Hotep. Kemet. Hopefully you had this book. If not, you should probably go get it. Read it one more time. Let it sink in, brother. Do not be proud and arrogant with your knowledge. Don't do that. I ain't even gonna get into the rest of the book. I want you to read it for yourself. Really reflect on what's being taught. There's a lot of wisdom, a lot of jewels in here. Now we're gonna get to the video, what you was talking about in the video, talking about how, you know, people is misleading people, and you know how Noble Drew Ali, he got this teachings from the white man and the cults and the Masons, and its influence is pushing white supremacy, blah 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 blah. No, it's not. But see, Noble Drew Ali taught us the man knows nothing by being told. So if just me telling you, you know what I mean, just me trying to tell you this, you ain't gonna know it. No, instead, I'm gonna point you to the information yourself, so you can see for yourself and know what the truth is, and know the truth. You feel me? With that, Stolen Legacy. And this is a book I heard you mention, young Pharaoh. So I hope you studied this. I don't know how you would, you know, this part I'm about to read here, I don't know how you missed it if you really studied this book. You know what I mean? If you really study like you say you do. You feel me? But for those that haven't read this book, I suggest you go get it. Very important book. Just read a little bit for you, all right? This is coming out of chapter 3, page 39. And it's in this section called number 4, How the African Continent Gave Its Culture to the Western World. During the Persian, Greek, and Roman invasions, large numbers of Egyptians fled, not only to the desert and mountain regions, but also to the adjacent lands in Africa, Arabia, and Asia Minor, where they lived and secretly developed the teachings which belonged to their mystery system. Okay, so let's recap. When the Persian, Greeks, and Romans were invading Egypt, matter of fact, I don't know if you can see this right there. This is Egypt, right? Right here in Africa. They was coming invading. The Egyptians, they bounced. Asia Minor, Arabia, and adjacent lands in Africa. Adjacent. Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. Let's continue. Yes. In the 8th century, the Moors. Oh shit. Do I need to get my glasses? The Moors, i.e. natives of Mauritania in North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture which they had preserved. The Egyptian culture which they, who is they? Moors, preserved. Now, why did they preserve this culture? Why did they preserve this information? Because the so-called white man was invading Egypt. And our brothers and sisters in Egypt bounced over and said, yo, can we chill out here for a minute? It's kind of high right now. Yeah, no problem. We family. So they tucked down low, got low for a second. And around 711 AD, the Moors began to spread this information back out into the world. Yes, this is Egyptian culture. But let's continue. I don't want you to believe me. You feel me? Knowledge in the ancient days was centralized, i.e. it belonged to a common parent and system, i.e. the wisdom teaching or mysteries of Egypt, which the Greeks used to call Sophia. As such, the people of North Africa, Moors, were neighbors of the Egyptians and became the custodians of Egyptian culture, which they spread through considerable portions of Africa, Asia Minor, and Europe. Moors spreaded Egyptian culture throughout Africa, Asia Minor, and Europe. Moors, do I gotta keep repeating it? Spreaded Egyptian culture. Yes, Moorish science, Egyptian culture, same thing. Understand? Cool. During their occupation of Spain, the Moors displayed with considerable credit the grandeur of African culture and civilization. The schools and libraries which they established became famous throughout the medieval world. Science and learning were cultivated and taught. The schools of Cordova, Toledo, Seville, and Saragossa attained such celebrity that they, like their parent Egypt, attracted students from all parts of the Western world. And from those schools arose the most famous African professors that the world has ever known. Hold up. Hold up.
We were calling ourselves Moors. M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S. 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 We were calling ourselves Moors. M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S.
The schools, the universities, Moors established with Egyptian culture was so amazing that they developed the world's best, the most amazing African. Okay, I didn't even finish the sentence. Side note, it's really frustrating when I hear and see people trying to talk down and disrespect Moors, Moorish Americans, Noble Drew Ali, Moorish science, etc. Because they don't understand that they disrespecting themselves and their own culture. And it's crazy. We got to get right, y'all. We got to get right. And from them arose the most famous African professors the world has ever known in medicine, surgery, astronomy, and mathematics. But these people from North Africa did more. These people being Moors, again. They did more than merely distinguish themselves in Spain. They were really the recognized custodians of African culture to whom the world looked for enlightenment. Hello.
The Moors that we know of today are the people that ruled Spain for over 700 years, from the year 700 to 1492, and made considerable advancements in art, architecture, education, and commerce. While London was still a village without a single street lamp, Cordova had a population of over 500,000 people living in over 100,000 homes. There were 700 mosques, 300 public baths, and 21 suburbs. The streets were paved and lit. The homes had marble balconies for summer and hot air ducts under the mosaic floors for winter. They were adorned with gardens and artificial fountains and orchards. Paper, a material still unknown in the rest of Europe, was everywhere. One of the most notable achievements of the Moors was the learning they brought to Spain that would eventually influence Europe, which was then in the Dark and early Middle Ages, into the very well-known Renaissance period. In the 10th and 11th centuries, public libraries in Europe were non-existent, while Moorish Spain had over 70. The Moors also founded 17 new universities, and historians speculate that it even sparked the formation of Oxford University. In 1105, when Christians arrived in Toledo, Spain, they were greeted with these universities and libraries filled with manuscripts of Greek and Roman knowledge lost to the Europeans, along with Arab mathematical and philosophical texts. The Europeans were dazzled by what they found and soon began flocking like moths to a light bulb, and they immediately set up a translating program in Toledo to translate the works into Latin. Other notable achievements made by the Moors include the trend of changing clothes according to the weather and season, and wearing different clothes in mornings, afternoons, and evenings. A scientist and poet named Ziryab also invented a type of deodorant to get rid of bad odors and promoted morning and evening baths, all of which were unheard of concepts in the rest of Europe. The Moors also made considerable contributions to architecture. The best surviving examples are La Mezquita in Cordova and the Alhambra Palace in Granada, as well as the Giralda in Seville. This highly sophisticated society lived with incredible tolerance of other faiths. Thousands of Jews and Christians lived peacefully under the Muslim rule, and this socio-economic prosperity was unparalleled for centuries. The Berber people are still around today, living in the arid lands of northern Africa as they have for thousands of years, perhaps unaware of the great advancements their people have brought to the world.
Hello. The world looked for enlightenment from Moors. And why? Because they continued, they preserved our ancestors' knowledge. The Egyptian mystery system. Yes. Moors were the ones that held it down. Yeah. In addition, I'm just this last piece, man. Last piece. Never mind. That's enough. That's enough. I hope we're clear. I hope we're clear, man. Young Pharaoh, please stop. You know what I mean? If you want to try to bang on people, you know what I mean? Just leave Moors out of it, man. Really, you shouldn't do it at all because you're making yourself look foolish, brother. For real. How you talk? I'm done, man. You know what I mean? I told myself I was going to be calm. I was going to be relaxed. You know what I mean? But it's just some things, man. It's just, you know what I mean? When I see our people being so arrogant and ignorant at the same time, man, it's just something that frustrates me, man. You know what I mean? So I apologize for the sarcasm. You know what I mean? I told myself I was going to try to keep it to a minimum. But man, you gotta do your research, man. Stop trying to associate Noble Ali and Moorish science as just some religion, man. It's not that. And another thing, in a video, he's talking about misleading people. That picture that you put up of Puff with the fez on, it's misleading, brother. I know pictures is 1,000 words. Yeah, but that actually came from an actual video. And in that video, you could actually see that it was Jay Electronica's fez. And if you look back in that picture, you'll see him off to the right.
You see P. Diddy, and you see Young Thug. This nigga P. Diddy got a Moorish fez on, but we know damn well he not no more. We know for a fact P. Diddy is a part of Illuminati.
Before watching this, make sure you have a napkin because sheet is about to get greasy. KFC. KFC is red. Do you know what else is red? That is right, the color red. Red has 3 letters. KFC also has 3 letters. 3 times 3 is 9. 7, 8, 9, therefore we are left with 7, 2, 8, 9. There is 7 days in a week. Week. Week rhymes with the word beak. Beak. Chickens have beaks. Chicken. Chickens have 2 wings. Humans have 0 wings. 2 plus 0 is 2. The Colonel has 2 eyes. Chickens also have 2 eyes. 2 plus 2 is 4. There is 4 letters in the first 4 letters of McDonald's. McDonald's sells chicken. KFC also sells chicken. There is 9 letters in the word McDonald's. 9. 9 rhymes with the word electromagnetic delay line. Magnet. Magnets are metal. Cages are also metal. Chickens are kept in cages. Is this where KFC gets their chicken? Let's find out. Chickens have 2 legs and humans also have 2 legs, so 2 plus 2 is 4. The Colonel had 4 limbs. A chicken has 2 limbs in case you count their wings, which is 4, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. The Illuminati has 1 eye. KFC is Illuminati confirmed.
How the fuck you got a fez on with a Christian cross? So this shows that they're trying to create confusion.
You know what he say? This my motherfucking nigga. This my motherfucking nigga right here. Hold on. How you know it's a new world and it's a new day coming? When you ever see all of us together at once? It's a new day. Yeah. As we proceed to give you what you need.
And Jay Electronica was performing, and P. Diddy was there, and Jay Electronica took his fez off and gave it to P. Diddy to wear. Why? Because it's our headdress. It's our crown. Yeah, that's what it represents. Another thing, look up what occult means, brother. Stop trying to throw out that words and spook people.
This is the information that the dark occultists who are running the show know and are using against people as a weapon, and ultimately are trying to get people not to ever look at. This is what they want hidden from your sight, which is what the word occult means. Hidden from sight. Okay, another form of mind control is trying to make one word associated with something that it's not really associated with at all. And one of the best forms of mind control is associating the word occult with evil, because it means no such thing. It means hidden, because it is hidden knowledge about objective morality and the workings of natural law, which if you do not understand, you can only create chaos. You can never create a world that you want, truly, in which you live and are free from self-imposed suffering. We're doing this to ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. No one else is doing this to us. In our ignorance of morality and natural law, we are creating this heinous, hideous situation of the loss of freedom and the slow spiraling descent into servitude. We're doing it.
It's not something so spooky, bro. It's just knowledge that's hidden that people aren't aware of. It's dealing with the supernatural. Don't believe me. Look it up. And last thing, man. Etymology. Quit with the shenanigans about, oh, they remixed the word. It's not, this ain't a rap song, bro. You don't remix words. Words have meanings, denotative, the original meaning of the word, and then words have connotative meanings. Meanings that people place on the word that covers up the original meaning. For example, ratchet. Now, what did you think? Some hood shit? That's not what ratchet originally meant. It has a real original meaning. And etymology is the science that helps you understand the original and true meanings of words. You should do some research on that science, brother. And then you would understand why Moors are always saying that we are not black. Because when you look at the original root of the word, I'm stopped there.
When you're talking about the Constitution and ancient documents or old documents, we're looking up these words, but we're using current dictionaries to look the words up. Modern dictionaries. In order to fully understand anything, you must go back to the period of when that document is written and look at a dictionary of that time so that you can truly get an understanding of that dictionary, of that word. So one of the dictionaries that I have is right here on the screen, American Dictionary of the English Language by Noah Webster, 1828. You can get this at Amazon.com. They sell this dictionary. I think it's about $68. $68. Let me close this one out. $68. And you can get this dictionary. Very good dictionary. I've been trying to find some older dictionaries, but this is one of the easier ones to get. Now let's look up the word. One word I want to look up is black. We assume that black means people of color, and we've been programmed to think that. But you'll be surprised at the definition. This is the same dictionary I have here. Let's go to the word black. Here it is. It says black, right here, pale, wane, livid, to turn white, to become black, to blacken, black, ink, black, pale, wane, livid, black, ink, blacker, to isolate, insulate, to expose to the sun, or to bleach, also to lighten, to flash, bleak, pale, bleaken, to bleach, bleach, pale, wane, bleak, bleaching, to bleach. I'll skip some of these other ones. It is remarkable that black bleak, and bleach are all radically one word. The primary sense seems to be pale, wane, or sallow, from which has proceeded the present variety of significations. That's what it says down there. So,
just on a common sense level, look at yourself, bruh. Our skin is not black. I did a video when I was talking to Brother Ben about it. You can watch that. Since I've been seeing you trying to talk about killing Islam and going at Brother Ben, go watch that video too. And I know you might try to come back. You know what I mean? You might try to get all in your bag and you might try to, but I'm telling you now, bruh, if you get all to that hype and you're doing all that nonsense, bruh, this is how you're gonna look to me.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the heck? You tripping, bro? You tripping?
Great.
Finger slip.
Don't worry, I got it all on film.
May I have your attention, please? The administration has limited the number of items that may be carried through the screen checkpoint.
And for everybody else, man, I hope you learned something today. And I hope you don't believe me. I hope you go get Stolen Legacy. George G.M. James. That's the name of the author. Teaching of Ptah Hotep. Asa G. Hilliard. ASA. Hilliard is Hilliard III. Larry Williams and Nia Damali. Or Damali, maybe? Damali. Those are the editors for the Teachings of Ptah Hotep. Look the information up, man. Do some research. Understand, Moors this is not a religion. It's not some club. It's not some, school of thought. You don't stop comparing it to Hebrew Israelites and other, Kemet in like little clubs. This is about our true identity, who we are. Before we were branded with the name Black, Colored, African American, Negro. Yes, before that we were called something else. And it was more. Thank you. You have a great night. Good apple juice too.
The common grounds, the differences, and if you were to have Muhammad, Jesus, Moses, Abraham, peace be upon them, all in the same room, they wouldn't be arguing with each other, debating each other, because they were all in the same team. They had the same message. They had the same Lord. But many times it's the people, it's us that get this message confused.
Get down with the team, presence greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. Get down with the team. So low, studio. You know what I mean. Get down with the team, presence greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. Rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The presence greener on that other side. If you know what I mean.
What's up, Black? You know I rep that red and green. Word and over Drew Island. 1900, he back on the same. 100 years more, time to get our eyes clean. The time is now, we see it all. We seen us, and we seen the falls. If she twerking ass, that mean we falling off. Ain't no ducking when the motherfucking love off. What I'm saying is deeper than what I'm saying, but saying won't get you to know, if you know what I'm saying. Let that simmer, run it back. I say we got a prophet and they tell me where he at. Where he at? That's when I show them the Quran. And then they tell me I ain't fucking with the silly Negro, please stop playing games on the rise, my G.
Rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The great arena on that other side. You know what I mean. Get down with the team. Presence greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I'll show you. You've been rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The grass greener on that other side. If you know what I mean. Get down with the team. You know what I mean.
When I was on the pilgrimage, I had close contact with Muslims whose skin would in America be classified as white, and with Muslims who themselves would be classified as white in America. But these particular Muslims didn't call themselves white. They looked upon themselves as human beings, as part of the human family, and therefore they looked upon all other segments of the human family as part of that same family. Now, they had a different look or a different air or a different attitude than that which is reflected in the attitude of the man in America who calls himself white. So I said that if Islam had done that for them, perhaps if the white man in America would study Islam, perhaps it could do the same thing for him.
I think what a lot of people are interested in, Malcolm, is whether this experience has made you feel that your feelings have changed, that the animosity you have expressed in the past toward all whites.
There's one thing that I want to make clear. No matter how much respect, no matter how much recognition whites show toward me, as far as I'm concerned, as long as that same respect and recognition is not shown toward every one of our people in this country, it doesn't exist for me.
So we in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now you can understand why it's called the Moorish Science Temple of America. Because Moorish or Moor is our descent. The temple is our physical body. Even our institution that we meet under that houses the body itself becomes the Moorish Science Temple as well. That's why wherever we go and meet becomes the Moorish Science Temple. Because we represent the Moorish Science Temple if we're following the law. Moors are descent, so we always will be Moors regardless of how we act or what we do or our frame of thinking. But if our like qualities and our national standards is intact, then that's the Moorish Science Temple. Islam?
Islam.
And it's filed for record with a charter for legal purposes. You understand? For commerce purposes. So that's another level. So we have the Moorish Science, which treats the ethics, ethnology, all of the things that deal with the human nature, period. What treats the human nature? The natural laws that leads up to the human nature. Physical and spiritual or moral or wherever you want to go with it. So this is the science that we're talking about now. This is the science that we're supposed to deal with. This is how the prophets set this temple up. Anything to the contrary is notwithstanding. That's what we must realize, that the substance of the Moorish Science Temple is back. It's being exposed. So you can't tear up the Moorish Science Temple. You can't tear it up. There's people who try, but they have insidious plans and they're trying to evade such a realm. But the true Moors is high above on another plane, will view the Destructionists as what? As they fall for the very last time. Islam?